Okay, guys. Yikes. Train for militia. That's like not even a thing. That's to do. It's so.
We will need many soldiers to defend our home.
I really don't need to think
We'll
about
start by creating
doing a tutorial
Click
in
your
Age of
town
Empires,
center.
as you know.
Then click the Create
really
Villager button in the lower left corner.
Boy, do
of the
I ever know
screen.
how to make villagers. No,
takes
it's
time
because
for a
I don't need to
villager to
focus on
appear.
this, and this is pretty
your
much on
town center
autopilot,
is
and I don't have to think
selected,
about
good
it,
job.
and so on and
The
so
villager
forth.
has appeared
Uh,
next to your town
I
center.
really
Create another village.
feel the need to, I
You
mean, if
need
I'm going to
additional
hide
housing to
something
support your
from
population.
plain view
To build a house,
and
click the
obfuscate things that would
click the buildings
I would
button,
normally
click
feel
the build house button,
like being
then
more
click where
mysterious
you want to
about.
build.
I'm talking about 3D lizard cam shit, people. Of course I'm going to talk about it here,
Good
where nobody's
job.
going to look at it.
Try
Nobody's
building
going to
another
watch
house.
this video. That's the thing. That's the subtle genius.
If more than
of
one
Chud
villager
Spannaday.
builds a building, it
Um,
will go up faster.
I don't know if you know this about me.
Each house
If you can't
supports
glean
5
this
units. The
from
population indicator
watching
at the top of
anything
the
by now,
screen
if you
shows
haven't
your
given
current
up
supportable
on watching things
population.
I've made by now, then it's probably obvious to you that
Other
I
buildings are
don't
made just
enjoy
like
being
houses.
straightforward about
Try building a
anything.
barracks. The barracks
I
is a
like everything
military
being a bit of a riddle. I like everything being a bit of a puzzle. And I'm not inclined to change for the sake of clarity, necessarily. I don't wish to make something that's empty of meaning. I think actually quite the opposite you will find the deeper you go into anything I've made. And I'm not advocating for that maddening chase. I'm just saying it's there for you. I'm not really interested in making things for people really besides myself and my those who are pretty closely surrounding me. I have done things the way I've done things, and I have no regrets about it, but I've done them in such a way so as to never feel I have to compromise on making the thing I want to make. And there's nothing else to it. I'm not going to change and cater to people necessarily. I'm going to make things pretty purely for me. That may change in the future, but for right now, my chief purpose in making anything is my own enjoyment. I don't think you necessarily may have noticed that I have taken a turn, like I've doubled down on that lately, whereas in the past I've tried to make things more generally accessible and enjoyable to people. I really no longer have an interest in doing that, and that may come back in time, but for right now, 3D Lizard Cam, to put it simply, is a pretty stream of consciousness kind of endeavor. It is a pretty unfiltered pathway to witnessing the contents of my brain. I have a lot planned for it. I really do. I have not put a ton of work into it yet. There are about 6 or 7 things buried in it right now that are waiting to be uncovered by people who have the patience to do so. And again, if anything, it's going to trend towards being rewarding only for the most eagle-eyed of people. I really want it to be a thing that is gratifying for people, and it's to say it's one thing is really doesn't quite capture the totality of what I want out of 3D Lizard Cam, if anything. My expectations aren't high for it. I expect it to just kind of sit there. And if it can be, I mean, over the 2 or 3 or whatever years I've spent doing this nonsense, I have found a number of people who I enjoy the company of and enjoy hanging out with in a digital sense. I mean, this whole project started as a like everything on my dumb YouTube channel has started and will continue to be a bonding activity between me and Ben. If you don't know that and are unfamiliar, I mean, you clearly have not hung out with me that much, which is all right. But Ben's is a very important friend to me, and he will actually always be one of my chief. If there is an audience, and if there is somebody I keep in mind when I make things, it's him. And if I'm gonna make a thing, it's going to appeal to my tastes and maybe Ben's tastes. And that's what I like doing. I really am not interested in anything but that. And like I said, that's right now. I acknowledge things change and may change in the future. But I'm not going to stop doing any of... they're doing things the way I've been doing them because I have actually really been enjoying that a lot. Almost as the opposite side of that coin, I've been maybe less patient with people who in the past I would have been more patient with. People who just come up and are like, hey, what's this? You know, I've always, this is maybe the most candid I have ever been about anything, really. And for better or worse, this is where it comes up in my dumb stroll through Age of Empires shit that's way beneath me, which will soon in a couple episodes probably turn into something actually that is challenging. This is the tutorial. I'm going to talk about stuff. I need to fill in the space, which is just, you know, this is nothing. I can do this in my sleep. I can manage these tutorial missions. Whatever. I would love for those people who I've found over the years, and I think you know who you are. If you're watching this and that resonates with you, that hey, I've encountered people through my YouTube channel who I really enjoy. You probably know if you're one of them. If you don't, you can go ahead and ask. I'll give you a straightforward answer. The answer will either be, hey, no, yeah, you actually have been an important person to me. You have really been somebody who stood out. Or, no, I just don't know you that well yet, which is not to say that I don't appreciate you, but that there is potential for something. There's something fun happening here. There always has been. Whether or not you're privy to it, whether or not you're coming in and have seen all 800 or whatever of the nonsense videos I've made that nobody watches, which is totally fine with me. The idea is that maybe I have a hub for people who I enjoy I enjoy the way their minds work. I enjoy the stuff they create. I enjoy what they make, whatever it is. For those people to, I don't have a lot of time. I really don't anymore. You know how life gets. It's busy and messy, and I just don't have the same kind of time for those people. I realize I just need to make 4 of these dudes. I don't have that time for those people, and I still want to keep touch with them. If they somehow if 3D Lizard Cam is always there for everybody and is a resource for people to just see a thing and witness a thing and spend time together when they're lonely late in the middle of the night. I want to keep it up all the time, but there is something to find there. It is an elaborate treasure hunt, and I really can't emphasize that enough. It is getting more complicated every day by design, and it's going to get harder if people don't meet the requirements that I set for it, and kind of coyly suggest that oh, there's a mystery, there's a puzzle to be solved. There is something there, and it's not just an empty thing to waste your time on, as much as it might seem that way. I have some real interesting plans for it. If it never gets there, that's cool.
Now that you have a few soldiers,
I find
you'll
that
be able to defend this area against English attacks.
There. Am I already done? Did I super win already? That seems like objectives met. Speaking of objectives, yeah, Lizard Cam objectives. You're not gonna know what they are right away. They'll become obvious to you if you put in the effort, and if you don't, whatever. Hang out anyway. I don't mind. I'm gonna make a conscious effort to be more patient with people. I have not done that. I realize I have been pretty, there's a line between whether I'm just making something strange and difficult to decode, and whether or not I'm being a dick to people who are bad at unraveling the strange frayed edges of my subconsciousness. I'm making something weird that's hard to decipher. I'll admit that. And I am not going to make it easy to decode, because I don't think that's what I'm interested in. I know that's not what I'm interested in. I don't think that's enjoyable in the same way. But that's all I really wanted to capture on that for now. I'll probably say more in a second on the next one. Who knows? And I have time, I'll do this kind of stuff. I'll make a thing. That's kind of my philosophy. But if I have time to make a thing that's fun for me to make, I'm going to use that time to make a thing that's fun to me. Other than that, I stay pretty busy, and you might not hear from me right away. Lizard Cam's there. Engage with Lizard Cam until I can engage with you. It's always there for you. I like to be there for you when I can be. You probably never listened to any of this anyway, because it was in the middle of something I am doing that's almost like just an exercise in making something that is not for anybody. It's a meditative exercise for myself, and I found that enjoyable. If you don't, that's cool. You're gonna do what you enjoy, I'm gonna do what I enjoy, and we'll still be pals. Don't worry about it. Anyway, I'll see you guys in a sec.